Speaking of bad man,
Horror at the University of Virginia after a suspected student gunman opened fire, killing 3 members of the football team. During a 12-hour manhunt, students sheltered in place, and then there was this dramatic moment right in the middle of a press conference. Came word that the suspect was in custody. Les Trent is there.
It's the dramatic moment the University of Virginia police chief was told the accused shooter had been captured.
Thank you, Captain. We just received information the suspect is in custody.
It was the end of a tense manhunt for 23-year-old Christopher Darnell Jones, accused of killing 3 members of the football team and wounding 2 other students.
Now, look at this.
Need a moment?
Look at these guys on the football team. You want to fuck with these dudes? I mean, in any other news story, these are the suspects. You know what I mean? I don't mean that racist. I don't want to get email. These guys look tough. I mean, they're football players. Of course, they're tough. But this is like, who's fucking with these 3 dudes? You know what I mean? I guess when you got a gun. So the other guy's a football player too. They're all on the football team, and they're riding on a bus home from a game, and it just busts out.
3 members of the football team and wounding 2 other students.
Just need a moment to thank God.
Jones was on a field trip with other students to Washington, D.C.
Oh, a field trip.
After seeing a play, they all sat down together to have a meal, then returned to campus on a chartered bus. That's when Jones
Did they go see Hamilton?
Shooting.
I was studying for a genetics exam in my room.
Did they go see Hamilton, and then this guy thought he just challenged these 3 guys to a duel live on the bus? They went and saw a play? What play makes you get into a shooting mood on a bus?
And I just heard 3 gunshots. You know, I couldn't tell if it was like a pothole or something, but I was like, looked to my friend and said, do you think that was gunfire? And then we heard.
Are kids dumb? Why is my mail dinging? Close it. Are kids dumb now? You know, what is this girl even talking about? We heard 3 pops, and I was like, is that a pothole? Where do you come from that potholes make noise? Where I'm confused about this whole pothole thing. Does she mean something else, or does she mean like a car hitting a pothole? And what, the tire popping 3 times? Like, well, I don't even understand the question. Anyone, please, clear this for me. Pothole.
For a genetics exam in my room, and I just heard 3 gunshots. You know, I couldn't tell if it was like a pothole or something.
A pothole. Her name is M. Gunter. Emma Gunter.
But I was like, looked to my friend and said, do you think that was gunfire? And then we heard 3 more.
I have 2 people.
Probably a pothole.
One person's at the UVA box office, and one person's at the Cobalt Garage, shot in the chest.
As the bus was being towed away today, you could see a bullet hole in the window. The 3 dead students were all football stars. Wide receiver Devin Chandler, 6'7" Lavelle Davis had a shot at playing in the NFL. Linebacker Deshaun Perry from Miami is number 41. Another football player, running back Mike Hollins, was wounded. The accused shooter is also a former member of the football team. He was recruited in his freshman year but never played. As the hunt continued, the entire campus of 22,000 students was in lockdown. Hundreds spent the night in a crowded basement gym.
This dude's bitter.
Where they could. We've been in lockdown for 11 hours. Most of us are exhausted and hungry, one of them posted. University President James Ryan spoke out today.
This is an unimaginably sad day for our community.
Oh, really?
UVA's threat assessment team had been made aware of the suspect twice before.
Dang.
Once when he allegedly told someone he owned a gun. Another time during a hazing investigation, it was closed for lack of witnesses coming forward.
So, look, there's another guy who they had been warned about. It comes out, first of all, I don't know, you tell me. Is this more indicative of where we're at as a country with mental health and accepting it? Or is this a problem that we've built that kind of stems off, hear me out, the trans acceptance movement. Now, not anything to do with trans specifically, but the trans acceptance movement has also led to a greater acceptance movement where now we almost, like whether you're homeless or your dick's out or you're waving around a gun on a corner, it's like, that's you, dog. You do you. No one can tell you that's not valid or okay. We're kind of there, right? Like, people are allowed to act ridiculously, dress ridiculously, claim ridiculous claims about themselves. People are allowed to, stand in their own truths and flaunt societal norms. Which, look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, is this, when we go, like, this guy has a gun, this guy's saying he's going to do stuff, are we at a place now, instead, we've moved from, like, a see something, say something society to a place where I didn't see anything, I don't say nothing. It's like, this guy can do anything he wants, this guy can say anything he wants, and this guy can act any way he wants, because who am I to tell him that's wrong or not okay or unhealthy? We're at that with homeless people, right? We can't like hire mental health experts or medical professionals to like intervene because that would be taking away their rights, or who are we to, that's how they want to. It's just like, what the fuck? No, people who are out on the streets, sleeping on the streets in general are not okay people. But you can't say that anymore. So like, I really think we get that way with like these guys who's like, the police knew that he had guns, or he had made threats in the past, or we all knew this was coming. It's like, why is this constantly the narrative that comes out? Why can't we look into these nuts? Whether it's a privacy thing with like health issue, like doctor confidentiality, or is this just like, I don't know my neighbors. We all just kind of keep our heads down and don't pay attention. Like, hey, whatever anybody wants to do. It's like, no, if I have a neighbor who's beating his dogs, I'm calling someone about it. Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing. But is that even enough anymore? I have a feeling, like they said, this guy had been in trouble for having a firearm potentially on campus. They kind of had some red flags, but like, do police get wind of that and just go, we don't want to be the ones wrong. We don't want to stand in somebody's truth. We don't want to tell them they can't. We don't want to infringe on their rights. We don't want to. It's such a weird balance we're in, where we're so happy stomping on the rights of citizens in certain aspects, and we're really shitty about doing it when it could save lives or potentially stop a tragedy like this from happening. It's fucking crazy. But I feel like it's been a lot of shootings lately where like we get the full story, and it's like, yeah, he told everybody he was going to do it. Yeah, police had looked into him before for being a gun nut. Maybe we don't have the resources to like watch all these people now because there's so many of them. We're just fucking insane.